Welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another Hatter Show, obviously episode 275. And in this one, we will be talking about a lot of things. Obviously, the Northampton away win on my birthday. Thank goodness for that. And obviously, we'll be talking briefly about the Brighton under 21s game, what sort of players should feature in that. And yeah, we obviously do a few other bits that we'll discuss and things like that. And obviously, the player ratings, as you guys know by now. But yeah, before we get into anything, Dad, how have you been? And we won a game. We both did not expect to win the game, and we did.
Yeah. Well, it's like I said at the Hat Show. I'm all good. Got a week off work, so it's all cushy. But yeah, when we discussed the predictions, we said we knew. Well, I don't know where it's coming from, and to be fair, it's come quite quickly. There was a lot there that was positive, and the steps from the first game. Yeah, we lost that, but you could still see the little steps there. And so on. We are good away. We just need to start doing that at home, and results went our way, and we can climb up the table. But yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We started day 15th with our win. We went up to 10th. And usually, I don't usually check straight after the game, to be quite honest with you. But I thought with how, underwhelming, I guess you could say we've been throughout the season, I wanted to have a little look based on the other results, like you say. But yeah, in terms of the lineup, so when we saw it, it was quite interesting. So obviously Keeley in goal, Bramall left back, Naismith and Mengi as the centre backs, Longwick on the right, which was very interesting at the time. Kadora on the left. I've called for wanting to see him there. We did see him there in this game. Richards on the right, that was really interesting. And then Lamine and Clark, and then it was Wells up front, and Saville was in his own role behind them four midfielders. And then as for the bench, we had Anderson, Asaya Jones, that was good to see. Nelson, Nordos, Hakeem as well. And then Shea and Yates. So looking at that team, let's be honest, when we first saw it, well, me personally, and I said it in the reaction, you look at Mengi and Longwick, just based on how Mengi's been in games, like he's done good things, but then he's done not so great things, like being caught out in terms of positioning. And then Longwick, when he has sort of played more out wide, whether that's been on the left wing back or right wing back, he's not been the greatest, but in terms of a fullback, in this game, he was very good. It was good to see Saville in his own sort of role. Obviously, the formation here is said to be a 4-4-1. When the lineup comes out, we're trying to look at it in a 4-2-3-1, which we played previously, a 4-3-3. Whatever we think, Wilshere would play, because obviously he did play a 4-3-3 when he was obviously the coach at Arsenal youth team. So yeah, it was interesting to see, but it was good to see Naismith back in centre back. I feel he is better there, much more beneficial there. Good to see Bramall in. Good to see Kadara on the left. And again, Wells was another question mark. Let's be honest. I went on the Twitter on the lineup, and literally everyone pretty much was saying, "Why is he starting again?" And I said he should have been dropped going into this game. Obviously, he wasn't. Ali was obviously ill, so. He's raring to go, though, by the looks of it, to feature this week at some point. He was in the training pictures, as was other people, which we'll get into. But, yeah, in terms of that lineup, a few question marks going into it. But if it works, you can't really complain, can you, Dad?
Do you know what? Like, the more thing, I found it quite refreshing. Went with a back four. Bramall, we know he can play there. Naismith, we know he's better in the middle. Longwick, right back. Interesting, but it worked because I've sort of slated him a little bit and said that he might be the one to go back in, but actually, in pre-season particularly, he looked really good, and this is another of them little things. Like he's come from a Premier League team, similar to Keeley as well. Expecting this team to be challenging, and they just weren't. So it kind of goes back on. Do you know what I mean? But you see little performances from him. But yeah, it worked. Saville in the role that we was talking about, he's better at that. And what I find really interesting is then we actually did go with 4 ahead of him, which obviously then frees up Fane, because he's more of a box to box, isn't it? Um, and that was really good. Richards, great to see him start um, on the right, bold move. No one would have predicted that. Kadur on the left, he's looked really good on the left, and I think he should be in serious consideration now for being, ahead of Ali in that, because he just seems to he seems to be better there, much better there. And then Wells, he's sticking with him. He's got a lot of experience, and to be honest, I don't think he was too bad, really. Do you know what I mean in this game? Because he's trying. The previous game, he gave when he gave away that pass and missed the penalty and all that. He was trying. Do you know what I mean? And I do feel like it's a matter of time with him, because he's that experienced. Same with Yates, and that's when people will start to see, the benefits of having them two in the squad for a whole season. Trust me. But yeah, really, we've done a 4-1-4-1 before. I think was it under Bloomfield towards the end, possibly.
Maybe.
Or was it? No, it wasn't. It was the Cambridge game.
Oh yeah,
Naismith
yeah.
was the CDM. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, good to see that, and even better to see Johns and Odofin on the bench. That come out of nowhere. So it's interesting. Like we said before, they're saying players are a couple of weeks away. But if you're seeing him in training with the other boys, not training on their own and things like that, and I've always said this: if everyone's fit, that's one hell of a squad for League One. So, yeah, really pleased with the lineup. Let's get into it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was great to see Jones and Hakeem back. And it was good to see, especially Hakeem in particular, because we haven't quite seen him play yet. So to see what he was about, and obviously we did know what he was about at the end of this game. But yeah, in terms of the first half, for me there wasn't any, from memory, obviously being there as well, there wasn't any major, chances really from both sides. I mean, from us, we weren't terrible in the first half. I just feel, there was times we could have got the ball up there and tried to make things happen, and we were a little bit, sort of, especially Mengi in particular. I have to be honest, he was a bit sort of hesitant at times. He kept the ball like for a bit too long. A lot of us felt around the ground. Obviously, there was a lot of frustrations, and then especially with it being right in front of us, we sort of felt like, we were inviting pressure onto ourselves at times. But Keeley obviously dealt with it well when the ball was played back to him. There was a moment Mengi maybe got away with. He sort of, I think he passed it and messed it up, and then they got it on the right, and they, obviously got the ball in a position they should never really get the ball in, to be quite honest with you. But there was a few chances. Wells, like you say, I thought in terms of, and I said it in the reaction, in terms of passing, and making things happen, he was good. It was just his shooting, which obviously let him down in this game. But yeah, it's a confidence thing with him, I feel. It's the same with Yates. But we'll get into obviously individual performances as well a bit later on. But yeah, the first half I thought it wasn't a bad half, but like I say, we were at times sort of, I don't really know the word, hesitant maybe, just in terms of, when we did have the ball around. And again, I know, Wilshere has said we want to be a team that's more, sort of in possession on the front foot and things like that. But that was the frustration. We had the ball a lot, and we just very slow with it, very slow with it. Could have got it up there for options and things like that, but thought Richards was really good in that first half. Especially coming back and doing defensive, things when we had to do defensive things, which wasn't too much if we're going to be totally honest. But there was decent moments. Lamine got a yellow card. I thought that was a bit harsh, to be quite honest with you. Obviously, the other side, we maybe thought it was a penalty. Looking back at it, maybe it's not, but I don't think it's a yellow card, really, To be quite honest with you, I've seen worse. If you're trying to book him for simulation or whatever, I've seen a lot worse. To be quite honest with you, so that was a bit harsh for me. But yeah, obviously they had to make a change, and that was frustrating. By the way, that player that had to come off, and not because he was injured or anything, but the fact he went down 3 times in the end. The second time he's gone down, he should be coming off. No more than that. And then it was just frustrating from the officials and all that, just to not get on. Like, just do you know what I mean? The second time he's gone down, he should be off. There should be no more times. And I don't like that in football. I don't like that in football. If they've gone down once, yeah, maybe try it again. I understand that. Happens again, they've got to come off. The fact it was 3 times, that was frustrating. But yeah, I mean, the first half, like I say, it was quite even in terms of chances. Maybe we edged it, in terms of being slightly better. But yeah, I think the second half is where we were, massively, massively better. Would you agree with that, Dad?
Yeah, but saying that, I think you could see the organisation much better. In the first half as well. The desire to win second balls is, I haven't seen that this season. That's the first time I've seen us that hungry to win second balls and stuff this season. And some of the play was good. Clark, great crossing. Again, he's been outstanding this season. Yes, Welsh should have got it on target, but he had a defender right around him straight away. Do you know what I mean? He kind of slipped. And don't forget, he's eager to try and get this. He knows there's criticism for him. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's just a matter of time. And you can see that in this game anyway. But he was getting into the positions often, and even in the goal, like he was in that position. If that went past Lamine, he would have been on hand to probably just tap that in. So, but yeah, I thought the chances we had. I thought the crosses into the box were good. We're being very dynamic in our play. Predominantly, we keep, because we've got the technical players. We're looking to pass through teams and open them up, but we're also spreading it wide, and delivering good balls into the box and things like that. So I thought the first half was much better than previous games we've had. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And again, when you talk about, us spreading it out wide, obviously Wilshere has heavily said that he rates our wingers basically. So I expect us to utilise that, and we got to start using through the middle as well, which we did in this game. But I mean, in terms of going forward as well, because when you've got the likes of Clark doing what he's doing in the sense of getting the ball and just making things happen, he's so good with the ball at his feet and just going forward and trying to take on players, things like that, winning us fouls at times. Even though Richards was in slightly different position, obviously he was out on the right. Being there, we were trying to actually figure out. Obviously, we knew he was on the right, but we didn't at the time exactly know what he was trying to, in terms of where he was. Like, was he right midfield? Obviously, we know as the game went on, but yeah, like even him, when you do play him more centrally, he can be good at that. Obviously, Nelson, whether he starts or not, can be good at that. And things like that. So you definitely do have the options there. And again, it goes back to what I've said loads of times. In terms of our attack in our squad, it is brilliant for this league. I'd say in terms of that compared to defense. Defense is obviously good, but obviously there's the holes we didn't quite fill, in my opinion. So that's the one thing I will say in terms of that. But yeah, I agree. There was definitely a better first half than what we've seen. But yeah, going into the second half, obviously I did say on the vlog, hopefully we get a goal on this side. And obviously we did. We did take Jordan Clark off. He was, well, to me, I'm going to say it's a precaution because I'll see him after the game. Obviously, I'll get a bit into that, meeting all the players and things like that after. But yeah, I see him and he was all smiley. So I'm going to say he's all right. He probably won't play tomorrow, obviously, but I could see him featuring, whether he's coming off the bench or not against Forest Green, to be honest with you, given how he done in the FA Cup, obviously a couple of years ago as well. against Man City. I think he will feature in that at some point. But yeah, I think he's going to be okay. Yates come on again. Yates similar to Wells in the sense of the shooting was the a little bit of a disappointment. Obviously, did have that moment where he was through straight away. Straight away tried to put it round the keeper. I mean, a few people are saying he should have tried to dink him. For me, he should. I don't care what type of shot he done. He should have just went for it. But again, it is a confidence thing. Do you know what I mean? And it's one of them where you got to look at it. And I don't know why Nordos still isn't really getting many games, to be honest, because it's not like he's going to score loads of goals, like I say. But I think these type of games at them moments, he probably would have tucked them away. And you'd have a bit more confidence with him, in my opinion, compared to the other two right now, because they're not just quite doing it. But yeah, obviously we had that chance. And then obviously the difference maker for me in this game was Isaiah Jones. I thought he was absolutely brilliant, like I said, in the reaction. It all started from the moment he tried getting past a player and it went out just for a throw, but he nearly got to it. And I was thinking, yeah, he's going to be lively. And bear in mind, he was on the left. I don't think we've ever seen him play on the left for us. So that was good to see as well. That he's, I guess versatile there, like Doa. Obviously, can play on the left as well. But yeah, Kadoa as well, obviously had that shot, didn't he? Off the crossbar. That was very, very unlucky. And then again, Wells had a chance. I mean, I would say, out of the chances he had, that was probably I guess, the least worst one. And again, people might go, yeah, but he was close to the goal and that. But I think that's what I mean. And the way it sort of bounced back compared to the other chances, I felt he should have done better with the other ones. But it probably could have with this one as well. But I've just felt Kadoa. I mean, running at players, absolutely brilliant on that left-hand side. Very unlucky not to get a goal. Obviously, he got applause from us, obviously, as he come round, like any player does. And then, yeah, it was unlucky. But, yeah, like I say, Isaiah Jones made a massive difference. Come on. Then, obviously, got the assist for obviously, the goal. Good ball across. And Lamine. And you said it to me, Dad, and I didn't even realise at the time because, obviously, I was getting carried away and, obviously, doing the reaction and all that. Obviously, it's my 22nd birthday. And he's number 22. So it's pretty mad how things come about, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good. Second half, yeah, great. Again, spreading it out. I think Saville spread it out to Kadua. Great one. Shot again. He can shoot. He's got excellent technical ability in that. You can see his real quality. And then yeah, the follow up. The speed that he's come back off the crossbar. He just tries to header it, but he can't really do much about that. But yeah, some of the play, consistent. The fans as well. Come on, like they were, we won the tree. Like they were confident. They could see again, because I said before, like we was fighting for them second balls. Like we was winning back possession. And to be fair to Northampton, they had a couple of injuries that could change things. Cameron McGinn wasn't even meant to start, and he was probably their best player, obviously playing against us.
Yeah, I remember speaking to you beforehand in the lineup, and I was like, he's on the bench. And then we're watching the game, and I see him in. I'm like, what? And I was like, Jamie, he used to play for us. Like, what was he? I didn't expect him to start. What's going on?
And this is the game where I've said before so many times, I think it'd be tough, but our quality will shine through. And this is exactly what happened in this game. But what I liked was you could see more and more. And, to have them two players back, Jones and not even back, Adofin, that was his debut. I don't know, it just seemed to boost everything, And I was quite confident and I thought, yeah, Jones will come on in. He hasn't got the rest of this kind of bug, if you like, what all the other players had. And it was just a menace to society as soon as he come on. Do you know what I mean? Brilliant. But Kadura as well, like we said it before, on the left. You got to be starting him there. Especially with players to come back on the right as well. Richards proved that he's adequate on the right as well. Great defensive work at times. Involved in a lot of the good forward play as well. 18. yeah, really, really good. And yeah, the goal sprayed out from Saville, who I thought was really good in this game as well. To Jones, great. And the burst into the box, there was Lamine and there was Wells, like I said. Um, but it's a bit scrappy in certain ways. But they're the sort of goals that we should be scoring. Players running and trying to do that. We haven't really seen that. And Lamine's first goal as well. Like, I reckon he'll score a few bangers for us. If that was his first goal, and it's, do you know what I mean? It's quite scrappy, but it was decent. To get on the end of it. But even earlier in the game, he had a shot, didn't he, from range, which was very fierce, wide but fierce. And we've seen him. He played really well, and good signing. People talk about this data and stuff like that, but with certain players, you can see it. You know what I mean? Makoso, Lamine, you can see it, and they are too good for this level if they're performing as they should be. And they're young, they're all young still. But yeah, great goal, great assist, and then also for the first time this sort of season, never really thought a lot less of we're gonna fuck it up. We're not gonna. Do you know what I mean? Like the other teams are gonna come back. The other team's gonna get. I don't really think that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And there was a lot of Northampton fans after the game saying, if we took our chances, we could have probably won 3 or 4-0, to be quite honest with you. And I agree. I mean, think about it, guys. You had the Yates chance, the first chance. Obviously you had the Wells first half chance, the Kadoa shot, which was unlucky, then Wells to follow up. That could have been 4. And we looked good. What I really liked was that second half, some of the football we were playing, on the ground, and we haven't really seen that for a while. Let's be honest. Just that on the ground, looking, the quick passes and things like that. There was a moment where we were quite unlucky. We were playing, I think it was on the vlog, where we were passing it nice, and I think Jones played it back to Wells. But Wells didn't quite manage to get to it. But that was good build-up play before that. And again, that's, utilising the middle of the pitch and not just going out wide. And, I think that's so good. But, yeah, in terms of our wingers, I've said it myself, got some great wingers at this football club. If you utilise them right, and not getting... Obviously, in games, they'll have to come back and defend. But if they're mainly higher up playing right midfielder or right winger or whatever... Mate, they'll be brilliant for us. And you've got so many options. Like I say, you got Shaden Morris, you got Cy Jones, you got obviously Kadoa, you've got Ali. You see Richards can do a job out wide now, in certain games. So, there's things like that. I even think Nelson can play on the left side of out wide. I really do. But yeah, we'll go through some comments. A lot of comments in tonight. So big up to everyone. Jackie says, hi, Ty Daz. I think we have turned a corner. Yeah, guys, do let me know. It does say in the title, have we turned a corner? Do let me know what you do think of that. And hopefully in the right direction, says G1. Big up to yourself as well. Paul says, good evening all. Good to see you, mate. Good to see a couple of boys. Yeah, we'll get into that a bit later on, as well as obviously the players that have come back for the weekend. Yeah, that's what I mean. That is what I mean. It's going to be brilliant, mate. Yep, possibly, mate. Possibly. They have helped other teams before. Yeah, I mean, back-to-back 1-0 defeats for them. So it's all interesting. Big up to David. Thank you very much, mate. He says, nice birthday treat to you, T. Hope the seats were good. Yeah, the seats were all good, man. We were like quite near the front. Yeah, it was all right. It was good. It was good, man. It was good because there was fans to the right, obviously on the side. I don't know if you went or anyone in chat went Peterborough away when we drew 1-1 when we were in the Championship. The year we got playoffs but didn't win them and they got relegated. But it's similar to that, but I was on the side that day. I weren't behind the goal. So it's similar to that, mate. And it was the most fans they've actually had this year. And, a lot of that was us. So... yeah, 1,500, I think it was. So yeah, man, they were good, mate. Thank you very much for them. Yeah, that's the comments so far. So yeah, do let me know. Like I say, do you think we have turned a corner? Do let me know. Obviously, we've got 2 cup games where we expect rotation, but I still expect to see some, I guess, if you want to call it, bigger names, especially in particularly on Friday. Maybe even 1 or 2 tomorrow, because we've got players that need to get into the swing of things again. So yeah, and then something we haven't mentioned before we get into player ratings, and it's quite bad we haven't mentioned this, Dad. The goal line clearance. I mean, that was
Yeah.
unbelievable. Obviously, I zoomed in on it on the vlog so you guys could see the best angle. And yeah, that was absolutely brilliant. I'll be honest. There was a few scares towards the end, but in terms of the defending, just the way we were getting our bodies on the line, I have to agree with you, Dad. It was sort of like how it was, when we did get 1-0 away wins. Obviously the years we were pushing to get to the Prem. Right at the end, Hakeem. I mean, he come on and gave away 2 fouls. But I weren't really too annoyed because I was thinking, well, we ain't played football since ages. So I was sort of like letting him off the hook a little bit. And then that at the end, I mean, that was unbelievable, mate. Like Northampton fans, you could see they're already celebrating. They thought it was in. And then something everyone's mentioned heavily as well after during that is obviously Mengi's passion. And don't get me wrong, I thought second half he was really good. I mean, there was a tackle he done on the vlog where they were breaking through. It's tackled him out for a throw. And again, it's like we say every time, if he's got the right mentality for us, and I've said it myself, even if it's through till January, I do not mind. Just show that you want to play for the club. And, he did put a little post out yesterday on his Instagram story, him and Wilshere, sort of like just obviously when they were like hugging. So I'm hoping this is a bit of a turned corner for Mengi as well, to be quite honest with you, because we've said it, a quality player. When we was in the Premier League, me and you said he was our best centre back. Very in terms of versatility in the centre back department. Obviously, if you play forward or back, it's a bit different. But when we used to play 3, he could play anywhere. He could play left centre back, he could play in the middle, he could play on the right centre back. So yeah, if he's got that mentality, top player. But Hakeem, I mean, thrown in, to obviously try and see the game out along with Anderson. And yeah, what a debut for Hakeem in the end.
Well, it's pretty crazy, yeah, because we had seen him at all.
No.
Bet what he looks like. He's a lad. Do you know what I mean? He looks strong, tough. You can see why he was put in the middle of Rotherham's defence last season. But I think he can play CDM as well and on the right. But yeah, like it was just eagerness. Them fouls. They weren't like silly fouls. They were just like the eagerness. And regarding the goal, I think finally a lot of people might not have seen this, but he was the one who actually headed it back towards Naismith in the first place, which could question that. Should you be doing that? But the presence of mind just to go right. Yeah, this. I've seen this already. This is where it gets the extra second from, because he knew that he probably shouldn't have. Do you know what I mean? Passed it back like that, which is fine because Naismith normally, but because it was ahead of him, and he was like, "What are we gonna do?" Like tried to header it. Keeley got a slight touch on it as well. Fair play to him, and yeah, great clearance. And Northampton fans thought it was in. We thought it was going to go in, and even at that time, I wasn't like, "Oh, here we go." Do you know what I mean? I'd have been annoyed about it, of course. But it wasn't a blatant. Do you know what I mean? He's kind of made up for that, and yeah, he'll probably start the next game, get his match fitness up, and he's a problem. So let's see. And to be fair to Gary Sweet, he actually said that when he got interviewed about it. Judging when he's not at the club, but you'll see. And actually, he's been really good. And look at that. Proved right. So yeah, I just want to say that as well.
Oh, flipping backgrounds, trying to go a bit too early to the Brighton preview. But yeah, no, I agree. I mean, what a debut in the end. And obviously we tried to see it out, and we did. We did. And I'll say there was a few scares, but it weren't really scares in terms of them. You know, with all due respect to Northampton, it weren't really them doing too much. It was just mistakes from us that nearly were costly, like we say. So, you know, in the end, you know, we definitely take it. We take it. However, a win comes, we take it at this moment in time. And, you know, like I said in reaction, um, you know, you look at 1-0 wins we've had under Bloomfield or Edwards, you know, especially when Edwards obviously didn't quite work out. They weren't emphatic. And again, this wasn't emphatic, but there were much more positive signs. You know, it wasn't the other team just didn't turn up and we were just lucky, like for example, Wigan, Doncaster, I'd say them type of games. It was, you know, we were good. We were good in patches, and especially in the second half for me. I thought second half we were levels above the first half. Not that we were poor in the first half, but I just felt some of the play we were doing in the second half was much better. I felt. So yeah, that's what I will say. But yeah, getting into now the player ratings. So this is going to be interesting. Keeley in goal. Yeah, I thought he was decent. I actually thought he was decent in the game. Didn't really, from memory, have to come out like he usually has to at times. And yeah, I thought he was decent to be honest. So yeah, I'll give him a 7.
I'll give him 7.5. Thought that save from McGeehan was outstanding.
Oh yeah, the free kick. Yeah, yeah, good shout.
You know, I mean, he's fully prepared for that.
Mengi gave that away. Yeah, yeah.
You know, his distribution was good. You know, there was other saves that he made. You know, it looked quite simple, but it was in the correct position. Do you know what I mean? It looked really confident. And it's probably, I don't know if it's a decent performance for him. You could see that this is what he came to Luton for. Do you know what I mean? To watch that, you know, good football ahead of him, you know, pass it out where he can, like, you know, Pickford styley and all that. And just and yeah, and if it comes to the defense being breached, he's going to be there to deal with it. Like any decent keeper, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm going to give him 7.5.
Yeah, 100%. You know, he's a decent keeper. You know, I had my criticisms of him because I know he can perform better. You know, I watched him a lot of Leighton Orient last year, and you know, there's obviously a keeper there. And like I said loads of times, I was delighted when we signed him as well. So yeah, my favourite signing up there with Yates, even though Yates has not really lived up to it as of yet. But yeah, other ratings. Paul has gone 7.5, and Jackie's gone 7.5, so they both agree with you. Moving on to Longwick, I thought he was really good at right back. To be fair to him, really, really good. He was just doing the basics well, and when they were going forward, you know, in previous games when he's played, you know, more out wide as a wing back or whatever, he sort of looked a bit, for me, vulnerable. Bar, I think it was Peterborough away, but they're rubbish. With all due respect, they're rubbish. So yeah, this game I thought he was really good actually. I'll give him a 7.5.
I thought he was excellent. You know, another interesting call from Wiltshire. You know, Makoso dropped basically, or rested, or whatever you want to call it. And he looked at home in that position. You know, he's probably like, do this defensive work, but you got a license to come forward when you want. And Richards will cut inside in the middle and stuff like that. Really worked. And yeah, I was really impressed with him. I'll give him 7.5.
Yeah, Jackie's gone with the same. And then moving on we'll go over to Bramall. We'll go over to the other side. Yeah, I thought he was good. You know, you can see that he's, you know, with all due respect to Naismith, he's much more beneficial there, and Naismith was much more beneficial as a centre back. And yeah, I thought Bramall was decent. There was some all right moments from him. So again, I'll go over 7 for him.
Yeah, I'll give him 7. Thought he had good moments. Just looked confident. You know, the bigger test maybe you could say we played teams that are on form. Difficult to, do you know what I mean? Got good wingers and stuff, but you know, he done well. And looks confident. Looks up for the, you know. So I'll give him 7.
Yeah. For Longwick said 8. Jackie's gone 7 as well. Paul's gone slightly higher, 7.5. Moving on to Naismith. Again, like I say, he's much more beneficial as a centre-back. Did get a yellow card, if I'm being honest. I can't even remember it, to be honest. So it could have been that bad. Otherwise, I'd have remembered it, to be honest, and been annoyed with it. So, yeah, I felt he was all right. There was some moments he could have done better. I felt towards the end of the game. But in terms of what we have seen previously, where he's not quite been good, really, he was better in this game. So, again, I'll go another 7.
I'll give him 7.5 for defensively. As you say, he looked better. I think he got a couple of headers away. And when he was forward, he was calm on the ball, playing some really good passes. Um, involved in a lot of things. So yeah, I'll give him 7.5.
Fair enough. Jackie agrees with me, 7. Paul agrees with you, 7.5. Moving on to Mengi. Again, first off, me personally, just maybe it's because I was, it was right in front of me, but just being there, like, it just felt like he was taking a bit too long on the ball sometimes. Maybe if you're obviously watching it on TV, maybe it doesn't seem like he is. But I don't know, it's a little bit frustrating. But I mean, second half, he was good, bar that free kick he gave away. McGeehan obviously had the shot. Good save from Keeley, like I say. I felt other than that, the second half performance, he massively, massively stepped up. And obviously people love to see that passion from him at the end. So I'll go with 7 again.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7. Thought it was, probably the best we've seen him so far this season. There was some scattergun moments in the first half a little bit, do you know what I mean? But a couple of times he cleared it, he whacks it away. Second half, he was trying to get in the way of get that clearance but definitely better from him. And the passion he was showing as well. Yeah, I like that. So yeah, 7.
Yeah, no, 100%. Mengi 7, says Paul and Jackie as well. Moving on to Saville in his own role. Like you say, very, very good. I felt, and that's the thing. You put him there, it's just more beneficial to the way he plays, I feel. And especially, like we've said, and, even though we don't have him, Bloomfield did say he wants to see him as an 8. So that is basically a box to box. So I feel it's much more beneficial to put Lamine there, is what I'm saying, and having Saville behind. So, yeah, in terms of this game, didn't get a yellow card, which was obviously good as well on top of that. But I don't mind him getting yellow card sometimes. However, like I say, if he does get one more, I have been told he is suspended for a game. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting what I've got to say later on him. But, yeah, in terms of this game, I thought he was decent, 7.5.
100%, 7.5. Allowed to, do what he does best, and then was spraying out some really good passes as well. Involved in, it was all over the pitch as well. Do you know what I mean? Really good performance. 7.5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Jackie's gone with the same. And Paul has gone slightly higher. He has gone with an 8. Moving on we'll go over to Richards on the right hand side. Thought he was really good actually. In the first half, I thought he was one of our better players, and not because anyone else weren't great, just because we haven't seen him out there yet, and obviously he's 18. He was really really good, and it was a really really good performance from him. So fair play to him. Fair play to him. Yeah, as for a rating, I'll give him a 7.5 as well.
I thought he was decent. I'll give him a 7. He worked really hard. Do you know what I mean? That's the main thing that I drew from that. Defensively, he was really good. Linking up play up front. Do you know what I mean? Calm on the ball, trying them little 1-2s and stuff. Really good. So I'll give him a 7. Considering I could say he was out of position as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And now that we've seen he's another player that can play there in games going forward. Richard 7.5, so Jackie and Paul, so they agree with me there. Moving on to Lamine. Yeah, well, again, you could argue he's a man of the match. He's not quite my man of the match. But yeah, really good performance from him. Like I say, I had that shot in the first half, which got on the vlog, not too far wide. And then obviously got in the right place at the right time for the goal. And yeah, he was getting stuck in. Like I say, I thought the yellow card was harsh personally. so I'm not really gonna dig him out for that or anything. So yeah, really good performance. First goal for Luton in a competitive game, so hopefully the first of many. And did like his interview after the game as well. That was good. So yeah, as for Lamine, I'll go 7.5.
Well, as you know, he's my man of the match. I thought he was excellent. He excelled in that position, even when he got the yellow card, which was harshly given, by the way. He still got stuck in, and was involved in a lot of the passing, a lot of the movement. Again, he was doing that box to box role perfectly, and then obviously he delivered with the goal. I'd say that's probably the best performance I've seen him at Luton, to be honest with you. So I'm going to give him an 8 man of the match.
Yeah, definitely agree. Paul says 8 for Lamine. Yeah, Jackie's gone 7.5. So the same as me there. Obviously, that vote puts Lamine first vote of the season for him on our votes that we do. And obviously, I will read out the scores after as well. Yeah, moving on to Jordan Clark. Really, really good up until we come off. And I was gutted, like a lot of obviously fans around me as well. Obviously, gutted when he come off. You're thinking, ah, if he's out, then where are we really going to create in terms of the middle of the pitch? But like I say, it looked precaution to me. It looked like all smiley and bubbly at the end. So I think he'll be okay, to be honest. And you never know. There's a player meet on Wednesday, which might actually go to be fair. And Clark and Walsh are going to be there. So some people might even ask Clark, to be honest. So we'll see. But like I say, I don't think he'll be in the squad tomorrow. But I can see him at least being on the bench, if not starting against Forest Green. So yeah, that's how I see it with Clark. But yeah, in terms of the game, like I say, really, really good up until that moment. I'll give him a 7.5.
Yeah, 100% same, 7.5. Excellent. We've got to kind of look after him as well. So I think that's more of a precaution. The way we're going to start managing injuries. If someone feels something slightly, that's it, come off. He's one of our veteran players as well. So we need to be looking after him. But yeah, he seems to be, like, if anything, thriving straight away from the appointment of Jack Wilshere. I mean, he's one of our own, really. He's excellent in most games. But yeah, good performance, 7.5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Paul and Jackie both agree with us. Moving on to Kadoa, again, said it, play him on the left. He's really good there. And yes, he didn't quite score, but he was very unlucky. He hit the crossbar. And every time he's just going forward, man, he just looks good, man. And then think in certain games, right? Obviously, I'm saying it right now with Ali. Well, he was training, so he'll probably be in. But all right, I'll say it even with him. Look at the players you've got to come on if one of them's not playing, or two of them are not playing. We found out Jones can play there now. Obviously Ali plays there. You've got so many options, and they could all probably play on the right alongside Shaden Morris on the right as well. So, yeah, he was unlucky in this game, and he got really good reception, which he thoroughly deserved. So, shout out to Kadoa. I will give him a 7.5 as well.
Yeah, 7.5, similar to his performance when he was on the left previously. Unlucky as well. Like, that would have been a banging goal. Do you know what I mean? And all capable of that. He's just so confident, like he's enjoying. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't seem like you're up too good for this level. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he's
really
bringing it, and defensively as well, he's good. But yeah, he just makes that space and manages to get a shot away. Do you know what I mean? He's really good at it, and training with Ali as well. They are quite similar in certain ways, but it could work, because Ali playing with him as well could benefit him. There's a lot of competition there now. But yeah, 7.5.
Yeah. Yeah, Paul's gone 7.5 as well. Jackie's gone slightly higher, gone with 8. And then moving on to Wells up front. Like I say, in terms of his passing in this game, trying to make things happen, there was a moment at the end of the half where he got frustrated because we were going forward, it got blocked, he went out for a throw. Obviously, ref blew the whistle, as he should have. But obviously, Wells was getting frustrated because he was trying, trying to make things happen. But yeah, in terms of the shots, probably should have done better for me. So that knocks it down a little bit in terms of his rating, but I'll still give him a 7.
I'll give him a 6.5. We definitely worked harder. He's getting in the right positions. It just fluffed it a little bit a couple of times, but it wasn't terrible. And he's going to have a little break now as well. Do you know what I mean? So we know his quality. Especially playing as a front two. But he had the chances. Yates again had the chances. So yeah, 6.5.
That's interesting because me personally, obviously, we're getting to line up for Brighton under 21s, but me personally, I'd love to see, two up front, and I'd actually play Wells for this game, to give him a bit of confidence, similar to, when we played Barnet, obviously, Nordos got a goal, that gave him a lot of confidence because obviously he scored during that period against Burton Albion as well. I would do a similar thing with Wells in this game tomorrow. And, let me know if you agree, but like I say, I'd actually start him against the Brighton under 21s. So yeah, do let me know if you would on that. But yeah, your ratings 7 for Wells, Jackie and Paul say. And then moving on to the subs, Yates. Again, Yates is similar to Wells for me, trying to get in the positions. But yeah, for me, he probably should have scored, I'll be honest, at some point. He had 2 big chances. Obviously, if you watch the vlog, I did get very frustrated with the second one because I felt he should have just released it. And it was similar to the first one. Let's say there is a lack of confidence, but I've still got full faith in him. We were buzzing when we signed him because we know what he can bring, especially, you look at it. I always look at his season at Blackpool in the Championship, getting 14 goals in the team that finished second bottom. If he's doing that for them, he should be able to do it in League One. So I've still got faith that he will eventually. He just needs that kickstart. And for me, he needs to be playing a little bit more as well, I'll be honest. So yeah, that's what I will say. But yeah, in terms of rating, I'll give him a 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5. Look good. Got into positions. I like the fact that the through balls we're playing is getting to these guys. Yeah, should have scored, but similar to Wells. Once they get a couple of goals in the league, they'll be flying. Especially with Al Hamadi coming back as well, providing that competition. Elijah in the background as well. You've got to step it up if you want to keep your place in the team. But yeah, 6.5.
Yeah. Jackie says I would play Wells too. Yeah, I think just for confidence, you know what I mean? That's why I do it. And like you say, Dad, we got El Hamadi, and there was pictures of him in training. So surely he's close now. And I mean, we thought Jones and that'd be a few more weeks. And so hopefully we'll see him on a bench in one of these 2 games, to be quite honest here, during this week. I'd like to see him if he's available to be in the squad, which it seems like he's doing training with the boys. So I don't think he's too far away. Same with Brown. Let's see him in the squad, and things like that. Because then also you've got other options. Do you know what I mean? Striking options. That can then say you can play Wells in this game. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I would do it. Yates 6 says Paul. Jackie says Yates should have scored 6.5. Yeah, he should have. I'll be honest, he should have. Isaiah Jones, he is my man of the match because, yes, there was good players on the pitch before that. Richards and Lamine, the main 2 for me. But, since Isaiah Jones come on, we broke the deadlock. He got the assist. And, even though Hakeem done the goal line clearance, which was absolutely phenomenal, obviously did give away them 2 fouls. When Jones come on, there wasn't really any shaky moments, given he hasn't played for a while. So that also boosts the reason I've given man of the match in this game. So yeah, as for a rating, I'll give him an 8.
Yeah, I'll give him 7.5. Great assist. Look really, really dangerous. Like good outlet. And on the other side as well. Yeah, crazy. Yeah. Like really good.
And that.
And just look hungry as well. Like we saw in pre-season. And Savile passed it out to him, fair play. And we did see that quite a bit in pre-season, but on the other side, do you remember when Savile, they was always looking for Jones on that side or either side. So yeah, because they know he can carry the ball and drive across in there or whatever. So yeah, 7.5.
Yeah. So our man of the matches, Dad, got their both first vote of the season. Obviously, Lamine and Jones. So yeah, that's that when it comes to that. Jackie does say man of match Jones as well. 8. Yeah, like I say, just because, like I say, various regions. Like I say, playing on the left, never seen him there. He hasn't played football for ages. Instant impact, got the assist. That's the reason I would. And essentially, I'd say even though Lamine scored a goal, he broke the deadlock basically. So that's why I give it to him. And then Paul's gone with 8 as well. And then moving on to the other players that come on, obviously Hakeem. I guess you've got to bump his rating up, even though he's only on for 3 minutes due to that goal line clearance, getting us 3 points instead of 1. So based on that, I'll give him a. Oh, this is tough. I'll give him a 7.5, I guess.
I'll give him a 7. As I said earlier, it was a couple of fouls, but it is what it is. And I felt like he was part of the reason that he had to come back anyway to clear that goal. But looked hungry, like it was a big moment, and that's what you need. And he's already shown that. He was on the pitch for 5 minutes or something. 7.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Jackie says 8 saved that goal going in. Yeah, exactly. And then, moving on to Anderson. I think Anderson, even though he come on just to see the game out, obviously defensive players, I'll probably just give him a 6 because I can't remember too much from him, to be honest.
He played some, he played a couple of decent passes. Maybe could have got across quicker, you could say, for that chance as well. So yeah, 6.
Yeah, fair enough. Paul's gone 7.5 for Hakeem. So yeah, fair enough. So yeah, there you go. 2 new players are on our man of the matches for the season. As for the points, guys, very, very interesting this week. So obviously I said 2-1 to Northampton, so I've got nothing, so I'm on 5. Dad, you obviously said a draw, which it could have been at the end, 1-1. You nearly actually got that right. You're on 3. Jackie, you're on 8. Obviously, you did say 2-1 to us. Rich said 1-0 to Northampton, so he's still on 4. Paul, you're on 8. As you said, obviously 2-1 to us. Stephen, who's now joint top, he obviously tunes into these, so might watch his back. He said 2-1, so he's actually joint top with Darth Vader, who's on 9. Darth Vader didn't actually send me his predictions this weekend. I think he forgot, because when we were talking about it in the Discord, I think he said he was like, I called it. But yeah, he didn't actually quite send them this week. Tom's on 1, Phil's on 2, Andy's on 2, Ben's on 7. He's in the Discord, does tune in, as you guys know. Terry's on 8. Dave's on 5. Blitz is on 6. Chat GPT, hold that. Yeah, he said the same as me, but got it wrong as well, so hold that. And then Jamie's on 6. So it's actually getting very tight now. And obviously, we've still got a very long time. We're not going to do it for the Virtue Trophy unless we get to the final. I've already said that. But we will do it for the FA Cup. So obviously, still put a prediction in today if you want. But we won't star it. We'll just do it for the FA Cup as we did it for the League Cup before we got knocked out. So, yeah, that's what I will say on that. We have got a Millwall fan in the chat, absolutely loving it. Yeah, I mean, you guys doing very well. Obviously, you got Alfie Doughty coming back into the swing of things. So, yeah, let me know how you feel about that. I bet you're buzzing with that signing, given that he's, actually a Millwall fan as well. Will this be the year you guys actually go up? That'll be interesting. Still doing very well. Be good to see Millwall in the Premier. It would. It would be mad if West Ham went down and they went up. It would be crazy. But yeah, we shall see. And Jackie says, I'm happy with that. Yeah, you're right up there, Jackie. And obviously, we always say you're very good at predictions and, proven why. So right up there. It's going to be interesting come the end of the season. But yeah, in terms of the game tomorrow, obviously the Brighton under-21s. Now, this is actually their second game in the Virtue Trophy. They've still, after this, got to play Cambridge as well. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, from our end, obviously our last Virtue Trophy game, very, very disappointing, let's be honest. Obviously the 3-1 defeat to Cambridge. I think I said a draw going into that game. I didn't think we'd win, but obviously defending that day was really poor. Couldn't put that down to Lawless. That was definitely the players. But yeah, there's obviously a bit of a boost, and a lot of people saying they don't really care about this, and I do hear it. It's a game we should be winning. With all due respect to Brighton under-21s, we should just be winning this game, even with a rotated side. But I look at it and I feel I would like to go far in this. Obviously, the league's the priority, but if we can get a day out of Wembley again, I mean, anyone would take that. Especially given our record at Wembley. Obviously, like I always allude to, when I was 5 years old, this shirt is I wore that. Obviously, I was very young, so I don't really know what happened. Unlike you, Dad, you're obviously absolutely buzzing. I was crying when we scored because how loud it was. But I'd love to experience that again, in terms of this trophy. And actually, hopefully, if we did get there, see us actually lift it properly. But yeah, like I say, it's an interesting one. I mean, we have to win, really. If we win, we do top the group. Barnet are on 5 points. They played all their games. It's absolutely mad how some teams still got, 2 games to play. Some teams have played all their games. It's crazy. But yeah, we have to win. We have to win this game. Like I say, especially the fact Cambridge have then got them, and you'd say Cambridge would beat them. It's a good opportunity to get players, into the swing of things as well. Get them more minutes, especially like Hakeem. I'd even maybe argue to give Asaya Jones more minutes, to be honest. And then obviously play a lot of youngsters as well. Richards, Nelson, obviously put Shea in goal. There's a lot of things to do that I would definitely give a go for this game. But yeah, I mean, with all due respect to the Brighton under-21s, it's a game we should really be winning, isn't it, Dad?
Yeah, definitely. Even with like the reserve players that we can put out, we don't know who's coming back from injury. We've seen a couple of pictures today with Walsh training, Brown training,
El Hamadi as well.
El Hamadi. We never expected a Dauphin to be back, or Jones, really, did we? We didn't expect them to be on the bench. So potentially you could see maybe 1 or 2 of them on the bench. But yeah, I agree with you. A Dauphin start, Jones starts as well. Nordas, decent players that we should be able to get a win and progress onto the second round.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'd agree. With that, like I say, we got to win the game. Simple as that. We have to, given the fact Barnet are above us. This is our final game. Obviously, I did go to the first game. The first. It was the first game. What I'm talking about against Barnet. That was good. That was good, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Like I say, I do want to see a lot more players that you wouldn't really expect to play just due to the fact to get their minutes in and things like that. So we'll do a little lineup together for this one. Do get involved in the chat as well. So let me just get it up on the screen. Let me just right. So obviously in goal, let me just see if it's sharing. Right, there we go. Yeah, I'm lagging a little bit, but I'm all good now. Obviously, Shea in goal. That goes without saying. Paul is saying in the chat to play Shea. Bloody hell. Sorry, mate, because I'm putting Shea in goal. Makoso, yeah, a few people have said that. Do you know what? I would go for this game. This is the formation I'd go with. So I'd actually go with it's a 4-3-1-2. So it's a little bit different, but it gives you an opportunity to still play a cam. It also gives you an opportunity to have players still out wide. I mean, let me know. Let me know if you guys would be open to this formation. But yeah, Shane Goldad, we know that. Would you put Makoso right back? I'd be open to it.
Yeah, because we know he needs more time there. He's played there decent once against Doncaster, but this could be a game where you can, he should be doing well there. Really, do you know what I mean? It gives him the opportunity to practice that, basically. So yeah, and he's rested. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, centre backs. I would like to see, but correct me if I'm wrong. If any of you've seen the training pictures, but I've not seen Chigoze in them, so I'm not too sure if he is injured or ill or something like that. But I'd love to see him in this game, given that he played. Obviously it's round about his age, I believe. I think he's slightly younger. But in terms of he played in the other cup game against Coventry. I'd like to see him in the squad, but I'm not sure if he is available. So I don't know. I mean, one player I'd definitely put in, and it's due to the minutes, is Hakeem, and I think you'd agree with that, Dad.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Let me do his first name. There you go. There he is. Yeah, look at that. That said he could play like 4 different positions. So yeah, very versatile as we know. The other side now. Now this is interesting for me. I mean, who would you go with, Dad?
I would go with Anderson, as he didn't start the last game.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Like I say, if Chigoze is available though, I'd love to see him in. To be quite honest with you. But yeah, I'd agree. Left side's interesting now because obviously Bramall, when I went to Barnet, Bramall did play in that, but he was getting into the swing of things still. And he is probably in my opinion, he's the main left back now. Do you maybe just put Naismith there for this game?
No, I'd stick with Bramall.
Okay. I don't mind who it is, to be fair.
They could swing a surprise on us and bring someone in from the youth team.
Yeah, like who did we have on the bench? Fox, wasn't it, against Cambridge?
Yeah, he's number 21.
He is a left back. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. But he won't be on here, so there's no point of me putting him on a thing. Now, the 3 in midfield, the middle, right? And a lot of people could be like, whoa. But I'm going to say my reasoning. I'm actually going to go with Saville, right? And the reason I say that is because if he gets the yellow card, which I don't mind if he does in this game, he has 1 game suspension, so that'll be Forest Green. And then he'll be available for the Stockport game. And I don't want it to get to a stage where he still hasn't quite got that yellow card. And then he gets it in the game you don't want to in the league or even Friday. And then he'll miss the Stockport away game. That's the reason I would go with it. And also, I think all the other times we played in the Virtue Trophy so far, I know we did in the Barnet game, we had an international break. So he wasn't involved at all in the squad in that one. So that is the reason I'd go with him. Some people probably wouldn't based on that. But yeah, that's an interesting shot. And that's the reason I would go with it. So yeah, can you really think of anyone else, Dad, to put there?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if the cards count in this towards the league or not, but I get that. It makes sense. But I'd maybe put Nakamba there, Give him a run out. Central position for him, yeah.
Like Jackie says here, I agree. That's the only reason I'd put it. And like I said, he hasn't been in the previous squads because he's had international breaks in this tournament so far, and obviously hasn't got one now. So yeah, I would go with him. Now on the right, I don't think I see Shaden Morris. I'd love to see him in this game, but I haven't. I don't think I see him in any of the training pictures. On the now, this is interesting. Do you know what? Do you know who I'd go with? I would go with. Oh, actually, do you know what? On this left, Dad, I'm going to put Ali. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. It's a game. He needs his he's confident. Well, his confidence. He is. He's trying to. He just needs a little bit of a break. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, makes sense.
Ali. Now on the right, I'm gonna go. Oh, mate, it's difficult. It's difficult on the right because I'm thinking either to put Richards there or as a cam. Because obviously he played as a cam against Barnet, didn't he? He done really well be fair to him. But I don't know. We just see his last performance on the right. See, this is what I mean. If we had Shaden Morris, I'd put Shaden Morris there.
I'd probably give Richards a go there too.
Yeah, Richards again on the right. Yeah, like I said, I'd definitely play Richards. It's just where. Do I put him here? Do I put him in Cam? I'll put him on the right. Where is he? There he is. And then the Cam.
Nelson.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And this is another thing I was thinking of doing. I was thinking of putting. Let me put his first name because he loves to not come up with him. Like I say, I was thinking of putting Nelson on the left, Richards in the Cam, and I don't know, someone on the right. But yeah, it's all interesting. There's a lot you can do in terms of that. And then the two up front for me, I'm just going to say it straight up. I'm going to go Wells on the right side. Like I said, I said my reasoning earlier for starting him. And I'm actually going to go Gabode, Dad.
Oh,
yeah. Who would you go with?
Well, it's number in it, but as we said before, because it's Brighton on the 21s, then, I expect some fringe players or different, styles coming through. So, yeah, I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Nordos if Nordos was ahead of Gabode for this game. But yeah, I want to see Wells in because this is a good game for him to score and get that confidence. And it don't matter who you're scoring against, you get confidence just naturally. So yeah, that's what we would go with for this game. Do let me know what you think of it. But yeah, other comments. We'll go through other comments regarding lineups. Nordos and Gabode must get some minutes tomorrow night. Be interesting to see if they could play together. Probably not similar type of players. In terms of Gabode, I haven't seen enough of him to really, still me personally, to know what type of player he is. So, yeah, but Nordos, like I say, for me, it's Nordos or Gabode. Obviously, I'd love to see them both at some point during the game. But yeah, I'd just like to see Wells to get a goal and have a bit of confidence. I mean, when we played Barney at home, we had Yates and Nordos up front. So there is a high chance that we see one of the, I guess, bigger name strikers, if you want to call it that, or the regular first team ones. So we'll see. Paul's gone 5-0 to us. Yeah, fair enough, mate. I don't blame you, to be quite honest with you. Paul also says Makoto to start. Is Walsh ready? He was in the training pictures, so I'll say he's on the bench. Again, he's another shout for midfield. But I just think we might bring him on for this game. I'm not sure if we start him, but yeah, it seems like he's all good to be involved. And like I say, a lot of people will ask him the question if he's not featuring tomorrow because he's also, like Clark, at the players' meeting thing they're doing on Wednesday. So yeah, that'll be interesting, and it'll be good to have him back. Like we said on the last episode, in terms of picking out that pass and things like that, he can be really beneficial for that and breaking the lines. And I think I could already see him playing it out wide to someone crossing it in, and we getting a goal from it or something. So, yeah, we shall see. But yeah, well, I guess we'll do a little mini score predictions, even though we don't know what to expect. I'll start off, Dad, because I've thought of this all day. I'm just going to go 3-0 to us.
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking, 3-0.
I was thinking that, or like the Barnet game, 4-1, they might get a goal. But then I was thinking, like, with all due respect, we shouldn't really be conceding to a youth team. With all due respect, even with a rotated side, let's just be honest, when we're going to have a few first teamers out. So, yeah, I'd say that we have to, for me, we have to win the game. Like I say, we have to. It's our final game. And then we'll see what goes on from there in terms of, who we get after that if we do progress. And should be interesting. Should be interesting to see how far we can get. And like I say, I would not grumble at another day at Wembley, to be quite honest with you. So we'll see. We'll see if we can get that far. But take it game by game and things like that. G1 says 3-1 to us. Jackie's gone 4-1. Yeah, like I say, I was thinking 4-1. But then like I say, it just would be mad if we conceded for me. And let's score an own goal. Do you know what I mean? With all due respect to them. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. But yeah, another thing I do want to talk about before we wrap up. So obviously I did my my fan cam, my match reaction like I do. And Jamie said, why don't we go round the back, the front of Northampton's ground? So I thought, okay, why not? A bit hesitant at first because it sort of looked like it was blocked off. And you weren't able to go there, but you was. And ended up doing this, guys. Most of you would have seen it on my socials, or my community posts if you are obviously checking them out. And yeah, so there you go, guys. Have a look at that. That is absolutely what you want to see. Me and Jack Wilshere, come on. And I'll tell you the stories with each player that had a story anyway. So Wilshere, see him coming out, I'm like, come on, got to get a picture of him, right? So he comes out, right? Hakeem's near as well. So I'm like, right, I want to get a picture with everyone. I can't be missing this. I need to get a picture with everyone that comes out that I haven't got a picture with before. So I think, yeah, why not? Right, let's go. And Hakeem's literally there. I'm like, right, I'm going to get one with him. But Wilshire's coming across to get one with me. So I'm like, oh, right, this is just a bit awkward. But I get one in the end. People say it looks a little bit more moodier. Trust me, literally everybody, because it's Jack Wilshere. There was even Northampton fans there, of course, given that it's at their place, wanting to get pictures of him as well. And then, yeah, got one with Chris Powell. Had a bit of a laugh with Chris Powell, actually. He sort of violated me, to be fair. So, obviously, Jamie said to most of them, it was my birthday. How old are you? 40? So, got violated by our assistant manager. So, that was all good. But the people, it was quite funny because the people towards the front, because we were towards the back, I think they felt like I said something out of the line to him because they all sort of looked at me. I could see it in the corner of my eye. They sort of looked at me as if to say wrong, but no, not at all. I like Chris Powell, and I think that's a lot beneficial to Jack Wilshere, coming in. Then got one with Keeley. Jamie said it was my birthday again, and he was like, happy birthday. So shout out to him. He obviously hasn't seen where I said about dropping him and that. He seemed all good, but he probably understand it. To be quite honest with you. So yeah, that was good to see. Good little picture there. Naismith, I'm so glad because the first time he was at the football club, well, he's been there 3 times, but in terms of before the loan one, I never got a picture of him. So I was very happy with that, as you can tell by my face, absolutely buzzing. And obviously the Hakeem one, see that's actually quite well timed. So I have to give Jamie a lot of credit for that because that's well timed. Look at that, that's a great picture. Both laughing because of that moment. It was quality. Cohen Bramall. What I like about this one is he's got his thumb up. That's good, man. That's good. So that was a good one. Kadawa, again, had a really good, I guess, couple of 10 seconds with Kadawa because basically coming back out so he was actually on the coach that they obviously take before we got over there. And he went out and Jamie was like, right, can I get a picture of you? And obviously said it was my birthday. He went, how old are you? Yeah, I went 20, obviously 22. And he said it was just a bit of banter. Do you know what I mean? It was just a bit of banter. And he was good, man. He was good to talk to. So shout out to him every time. Got one with George Saville, absolutely buzzing. I'd say based on our ratings as well, he's been our best player so far this season. That was a good picture. I like that one. And then Lamine. The Lamine live, right? So obviously, if you've got an iPhone, you know what I'm talking about. When you take a picture, sometimes they're live, and you can see what actually happened before you take the picture. If that makes sense. Again, Jamie said it was my birthday, and he actually looks at me and says "Happy birthday," and you can tell, he said that. So that was pretty cool, actually. And then Asaya Jones got one with him again. He was really nice. Jamie didn't even say it was my birthday, and he was just like, "Have a good one, brother." So shout out to him. Shout out to him as well. Obviously, man of the match in the game. Nelson got one with Nelson. That was good. That was a good picture as well. Naki Wells. Do you know what I mean? That was good. Then this one, Jackie, you'll like this one. There you go, Jordan Clark. Look at that. That is quality. All the time he's been at the football club, I've never got one with him. So I was absolutely buzzing for that. That was a good picture as well. Happy with that. And then Jerry Yates as well. Come on, that's a nice one there. Even the goalkeeper coach, he's been there for years. So, I had to get one with him. And obviously me and Jamie. So, yeah, man, that's that. I was absolutely buzzing with that. To be honest, after, and again, shout out to Jamie, she thought of the idea to do that. So, yeah, man, I had them interactions as well, which was a good laugh, to be honest. And yeah, that's the thing, you come out of a win and it's a lot more, I guess positive, really. And again, it was good. It was really, really good. Do my reaction, buzzing, things like that. See some few people see me as well that recognise me, come up to me before I do my fan cam, see Mike. It was good. It was a good day, and at least we won on my birthday. I'm happy with that. A few people in the match reactions and the vlogs as well saying, "Can it be your birthday every week if we win?" And I wish it could, to be quite honest with you. His new assistant with the kit, man. Oh, that's quality. So yeah, there we go with that. I got Chris Powell's autograph. Yeah, fair enough. There was a lot of people there as well. Even Northampton fans getting stuff and that. Uh, who did you want to get a picture with that you didn't get? Right, I still want to get one with Shay. The fact he's been at the club for as long as he has, I've never got one with him. Who else? There was other players I said at the time, but I can't even remember. Longwick, that's the last one. There's a few others, obviously. Richards. Yeah, there's a few others. But yeah, I was really happy with that, to be fair. It's pretty mad because they kept coming out like a lot of them were one at a time, then there was two at a time. And yeah, Kevin Nolan, I thought he was going to come out. I was actually going to get one with him, but he didn't quite come out. So yeah, yeah. No, I'm really happy with that picture of Clark. That was brilliant. To be fair, Jamie, Jackie saying well done to you, getting the pictures and that. So yeah, no, it's good conversations. Like I say, the Chris Powell one that was a good bit of banter. To be fair, good conversation with Kadoa as well, things like that. So yeah, shout out to them for doing that because they wanted to get on a coach to be honest and go, but they obviously taking time and things. So shout out to them. Hopefully, as the season goes on, we'll get a few more with James Shea and things like that. Hopefully, see him at one point. But yeah, any final things, Dad, you want to say about anything before we wrap up?
Yeah, it's good that we got a couple of cup games coming up. Gives a bit more time for training and things like that with the general squad. I think we'll see a couple of little changes, and I think we'll go quite strong against Forest Green. We'll be looking to win that, of course. So yeah, take pressure, and then we've got a tough game away to Stockport. When the season resumes. So hopefully we got some more players back as well by then. So yeah, I feel like it's a good little period. You can kind of relax a little bit. We should do the business tomorrow. Definitely, we should be beating Forest Green as well. I know Robbie Savage has said quite a few things and that. It's going to be an interesting game. But yeah, the Reflow Derby, mate. So yeah, on TV as well, that game. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking for somewhere to watch that game. To be fair, in terms of like might watch it at a pub or something. To be honest, as it is on TNT. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I'm not sure what we're going to do with that game yet. It might be a live stream, or it might be like we drop like a pre-recorded preview for you guys. I'm not too sure yet, as we are out on Thursday, and we're not too sure what time we'll be back. So we'll see. We'll let you know as well. So check all that out when it comes out. As for the game tomorrow, I'll probably do a watch along. To be fair, I'll probably do a watch along to it, and then obviously I'll do a match reaction as well. And then yeah, see it'll be shorts out as well during the period up until Thursday, and then yeah, obviously Friday there'll be a match reaction to the game anyway. And yeah, from there on in, obviously it'll be the Hat Show on Monday and things like that. And Stockport are literally playing in a minute, so I'm going to watch that game and see how they do. Tough game, I'd say, against Port Vale away, to be honest. So see how they do from that. So yeah, we shall see. But yeah, big up to everyone that's tuned in. Don't forget to smash a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Do check out all the other content if you haven't already, the vlog, the match reaction, things like that. And yeah, follow me across all my socials, subscribe to the extra channel, and yeah, do become a member if you can. And like I say, I'll be doing a watch along to this game tomorrow, and there will be a match reaction as well. So do check that out. Yeah, big up to everyone. Take care and peace. Come on the town.